Hi, my name's Allison Richard and I'm your stress management and self-care coach. And today I wanted to talk to you about your wake up routine. So I don't know about you, but this moment is fall and we're losing a lot of light, and it's been really hard for me to get out of bed between that and allergies and all sorts of other things. However, all of that has kind of made me realize all of the things that our body actually naturally does every morning. The moment we kind of shift from that place of sleeping to that conscious place of being awake, and the fact that just by waking up, that is signaling to our body to really start the process of allowing us to kind of get up and move and just live through the day. So our body really does kind of life affirming processes from the moment we take that first conscious breath every morning. So I just want you to start by taking that first conscious breath, whether it's the first one of your morning or not. Just go ahead and take a deep breath in and then exhale and just sigh it out, let it go. And just taking that moment to be grateful for all the things that had to go right for you to be able to wake up on this morning and to have this other chance to live another day, and that breath is really what that's affirming for you. And then, so we're going to go through a few other things for my morning routine that I really like to do, because sometimes even in those times when we're, maybe we didn't get a good night's sleep, or we're just feeling really tired or run down or not the best, there's still a lot of stuff that we can do to really help our body's natural processes that it goes through to start to kind of detox our body and to just get rid of some of that stagnation that we tend to accumulate overnight, so that we can hopefully start to feel a little bit better, maybe allow our body to be able to go through those processes with a little bit less effort, so that we have a little bit more energy for other things instead of having to work so hard to go through those processes. So I will say, one of the first things I will always say to do is start with a glass of water before anything else, before coffee, before food, because water is really life. Breath and water are those two things that we need to survive. And so it's, again, signaling to our digestive system and everything to start flushing out everything from the night before. So I usually like to do at least half a glass of water before I kind of move on to anything else. Full glass if you can do it. And then from there, so just kind of wanting to start to open some of those lymph channels that tend to drain some of that congestion and stagnation away from the head, the sinuses, and all of that. So I'm just going to have you take your fingers, you're going to find your collarbones, and I just want you to go right above your collarbones for a second, and you're just going to take your fingers super lightly, like you're touching with a feather, and just kind of draw little J shapes down and out above your collarbones. And again, so your lymph fluid flows right below your skin, so it's not deep in there, so you're just doing really light, almost like kind of a very rhythmic motion. So think just that idea of helping it to flow. Good. And you can do about 10 times. Good. And then you're going to take the kind of pinky sides of your hands over to the sides of your neck, and you can start kind of halfway up, and you're just going to brush down to the tops of your shoulders like 5 times. You could do 5 to 10 times. So do what feels good to you. And again, so you always want to kind of move the lymph fluid from the center of your face over to the sides and then down towards these drains that are above your collarbones. So you're kind of thinking that down motion. And then once you do 5 or 10 times, halfway on the neck, you're going to go start all the way up right below the bottom of your ear and then brush all the way down to the top of your shoulders. So all the way down the sides of the neck. And again, you can do 5 or 10 times. And just keep breathing, because that breathing is also going to help the fluid move and continue to flow. And then for the last little part here, you can take your fingertips kind of like a little waterfall and just go 5 times down the sides of the neck. And then take your hands and you're going to split your fingers. You can either do 2 and 2 or 3 and 1, whatever your fingers feel is most natural. You're going to take your ear between whatever fingers are separated. So slide the kind of bottom of your ear into that space between the fingers. And then you're going to do little C shapes. So kind of press back and down, because you're moving that fluid basically from behind the ear towards the jawline, and it'll go from the jawline down. So just kind of pressing little kind of crescent moon shapes. Again, you can do 10 times. And if you're anything like me, maybe you kind of hold a lot of fluid around the ears, especially if it's more humid out. And there's lots of reasons we can kind of hold fluid here, but just taking a deep breath in, exhaling, and then also swallowing to help the little kind of glands that run along the jaw. Good. And then after you do 10 times, you're going to take your fingertips kind of in that little waterfall motion just down the back of the neck. So from the base of your skull down the back of your neck. Good. And then lastly, take your hands onto your shoulders. So you're going to point your fingertips back. Keep your hands light as you lift up. Because again, you want to kind of move any fluid that's in the neck and the shoulders. You're going to move it forward towards those lymph glands that are in the collarbone. So just lift the elbows up, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, then you can push down and kind of pull forward a little. And you're not doing hard. So inhaling up, exhale. Good. And then just do like 3 more times. Inhale, exhale. Good. 2 more. And then 1 more time. Good. And then you're going to take your thumb and your first finger together on both hands, and you're going to find the very sides of your nose. So I actually discovered this when we were having a lot of the Canadian wildfires over the summer, to kind of help support your lung points. But I feel like it really helps to kind of open through congestion too and support the lungs. So take your fingers to the side of your nose. You're just going to kind of rapidly move the fingers up and down. And you can do this like 50 times. And I will admit I'm very, very bad at counting when I'm actually like talking and doing something. So we're just gonna assume it's about 50, but you can kind of account for yourself, just going up and down, rapidly pushing in. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Good. 1 more breath in. And then exhale. Good. And then from there you can release. Maybe inhale, notice if it opens up the nose at all. And then you're going to go to this occipital ridge that's at the kind of base of your skull. So if you go up the neck to that kind of indentation at the very center where your base of your skull is, you're going to go out to the side a little bit on either side. So you can use your thumbs and you're going to push in on either side. And then as you do that, you can really kind of feel along there if there's any place that has a lot of tension. Push your head back into your fingers, and then you're just going to massage there for about 30 times. So again, I'm going to keep talking, so I'm not going to be counting for the moment, but you can count. And so this kind of is a big sinus point. And sometimes if it's kind of like a chicken or an egg thing. So sometimes if we're just really congested, it can cause this part to be congested and just not drain well. And on the other side of that, if for any reason this part is kind of closed off, it will cause the rest to not be able to drain. And one of the things that can close off this place at the base of our skull is when we spend all of our time in kind of forward head posture. So when we're on our phones and our computers all day, it can actually kind of lock up and create tension in this space. So sometimes doing this and opening up the space by massaging can help it to drain better, and really anything that's going to kind of release the head back. So really push your head back into your fingers. Good. Take 1 more deep breath in. Exhale. Good. And then release your hands down. Go ahead and drop 1 ear towards 1 shoulder. So again, you're just starting to get rid of any of that tension in the neck, any congestion that resides there. Go back to the other side. And just 1 more time to each side. So taking the head through center to the other side. Take a big breath in. Exhale. And then go back 1 more time to that second side. Take 1 more inhale. Exhaling. And then if it's okay for you, just take your head and your neck and begin to circle it around. And especially if you're doing this first thing in the morning, you may not want to do the biggest circles that you could do. You might find that it's better to just go a little bit smaller. You can do like 5 in each direction. So it might be nicer. So if you start to feel some like tension or kind of crackling or popping, go easy. Do what feels okay for you. And then just bringing your head back to center, let your arms hang down, and then just squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, drop them, let it go. Good. Just do that 2 more times. So deep breath in. Exhale. 1 more time. Good. And then go ahead and interlace your hands. Just stretch your arms all the way up above you. And as you stretch, so resist kind of squeezing the shoulders up this time, so you know what that feels like because you just did it. Keep the shoulders down. Really think about kind of lifting from your side ribs. So you're really opening up through those side ribs as much as you can. And then maybe even side bend a little bit over to one side. So get even more of a stretch from the side of the waist. And then go ahead and side bend to the other direction. Good. And then just bringing yourself back to center. If you want, you could go ahead and even twist a little bit. So starting to just kind of increase that flexibility of your spine. And it doesn't have to be a huge rotation. It's just waking everything up. And then releasing your arms down if you want. Kind of shrug the shoulders out, shake them out for a moment. And then last thing I really love to do is to end with some eucalyptus oil just to kind of open everything up. And I usually take it onto one of the lung points in acupuncture. If you don't have the oil, you can do this without it. So your lung points, basically, if you find your armpits, you're going to go straight in from your armpits. So you're kind of at the center of your chest on either side. And I usually just kind of put the oil there. If your skin is sensitive, you can blend it with another carrier oil like almond oil or jojoba oil. And I like to use Young Living essential oils. And this is just one of their variations of eucalyptus. If you have it and you're using it, you can just take a deep breath in, exhale, and even if you don't have the oil, take a breath. And then you're gonna take your fingers to those points that you just kind of rubbed the oil into. Just tap those points for a moment. So again, this is just kind of helping to open up the lungs. So if there's any sort of congestion or tension or tightness, this is also really good to do in seasons like fall and spring, where there's a lot that our body's trying to process. So usually in fall, there's a lot of dampness in the earth, and so there's a lot more humidity, and that can create a lot more congestion in the body. And the spring, we're also trying to reduce and release stagnation that we've gained from the winter. So we're always kind of trying to open these up. Good. And again, you're just supporting all of these organs so that they can function a little bit more easily with a little less work. And then so you're just going to end by going down to your spleen and your liver point. So if you stay on that center of your chest, just go to the base of your rib cage. So now you're just low on your rib cage and you're going to tap there. Those are your liver points. And then stay at that same point, but just walk your fingers a little bit more out to the sides, a little bit wider. So tapping on the spleen points, again, this can be a really good one in fall and spring when the weather goes up and down and it's rainy one day and sunny the next and cold and warm. And our body has to work a lot harder to kind of keep us at a good temperature and keep us in our happy place. So just go ahead and take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, you can stop tapping, just let it go. Just hopefully you're feeling a little bit more awake, a little bit more alert and refreshed, and wishing you a very, very, very wonderful rest of your day.